What happens when Marvel's first family meets an unstoppable force? You get Fantastic Four vs. Godzilla. March 2025 marks the King of the Monsters' return to the Marvel Universe. This isn't the first time Godzilla and the Fantastic Four have quarreled, and it might not be the last, fingers crossed. In the past half-century, both Godzilla and the Marvel Universe have experienced extreme changes. This brand new Godzilla vs. Marvel series will explore those changes by pitting different eras of Godzilla and Marvel against each other. This particular story begins in the 1960s. At the top of the Baxter Building, the Fantastic Four are scrambling. Something terrible has happened, something alive, and it hasn't been seen since 1954. Back then, a creature of immense power attacked Tokyo, Japan. By the time the Fantastic Four arrived, the damage had already been done. Thanks to the brilliant Dr. Serizawa and his oxygen destroyer, the beast was defeated, but it came at the deadly cost of Serizawa's life. But now it would seem the creature's defeat has been greatly exaggerated. On a dark and stormy night in New York City, Godzilla has returned, and he's about to reduce the Statue of Liberty to rubble. The Fantastic Four leap into action. Ben Grimm, aka The Thing, dive bombs into Godzilla's face. Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman, unleashing a lethal torrent of force field blasts. Johnny Storm, also known as the Human Torch, bombards Godzilla with burning fireballs. Finally, there's Reed Richards, and he uses his stretch powers to form a kaiju-sized fist, smashing Godzilla's face right into Liberty Island. Godzilla is down. The Thing openly mocks the giant monster, calling it a milksop, which is slang for weakling. But the Human Torch isn't buying it. If the monster is weak, how did it nearly take out Tokyo? See, Godzilla may be down, but he's far from being out. His jagged spikes radiate an ominous blue glow. Spinning around, Godzilla blasts the Fantastic Four with his searing heat beam. But Susan Storm saves her family in the nick of time by creating a nigh impenetrable force field. With smoke and debris obscuring his vision, Godzilla turns away, believing his enemies have been reduced to ash. But the Fantastic Four are lucky to be alive, and it's all thanks to Susan Storm giving everything she had. Unfortunately, there's no time to regroup. Godzilla has reached New York City. Thousands of lives are in immediate danger. Realizing they're going to need something bigger than the four of them, Reed comes up with a plan. He intends to take the entirety of the New York electric grid, funnel it into the Baxter Building, turning it into a giant electric booby trap. Since Reed believes this will mean certain death, he volunteers to do this alone. But his teammates ain't having it. If there's a chance of them all walking out of this alive, it'll be because they worked together. The Fantastic Four race to the Baxter Building, where they work double time to implement Reed's plan. Sure enough, right as Godzilla stomps into the Baxter Building, he gets a mouthful, he gets a tasteful of electricity. Not even Godzilla can withstand so much electricity at once. The King of the Monsters crashes into what is likely a densely populated neighborhood, taking the Baxter Building down with him. Miraculously, the Fantastic Four survive having their own building coming down on them. It sounds like having superpowers is a convenient perk. It's then Reed notices the rain has stopped, wondering if maybe Godzilla had anything to do with it. But when the skies are set ablaze by literal flames, the Fantastic Four know they're in serious trouble. For this means the world devourer, known as Galactus, has sent a new herald to claim the Earth. King Ghidorah. That's right, King Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, is the new Herald of Galactus. It took everything the Fantastic Four had just to beat Godzilla. What hope do they have against King Ghidorah, wielding the power cosmic? Well, as the Silver Surfer, former Herald of Galactus, eloquently points out, y'all are The Silver Surfer scanned Ghidorah's memories with his cosmic senses. He describes Ghidorah as an unspeakable destructive force, a being of pure malice, relishing only in death and chaos. Anyone else think King Ghidorah and Thanos would be best friends? Galactus stumbled upon Ghidorah right as the three-headed kaiju was tidying things up. And by tidying things up, I mean obliterating his own world. For us, it seems to confirm the Dark Forest theory is very real, which is a horrifying thought. But for Galactus, it's like striking cosmic oil. You know, he's been auditioning for a new Herald, and it looks like Ghidorah is the perfect fit. Galactus is thinking finally he has a Herald that will help him take the Earth. Susan Storm floats the idea of the Silver Surfer at least trying to use his power cosmic, but the Surfer immediately shuts this idea down. He declares the unbridled power of Herald Ghidorah is leagues above his own. The Fantastic Four are not convinced. The Thing even offers up to become a host for Surfer's power cosmic. Suddenly, it occurs to the Silver Surfer that transferring his power cosmic to a stronger host might actually work. But none of them are the right people for the job. That's because the right person for the job isn't a person at all. In an epic moment, the Silver Surfer channels his power cosmic into Godzilla. This turns out to be a painful process for the former Herald, as relinquishing his power cosmic takes everything he has. Without his cosmic powers, the Surfer is a mere mortal like the rest of us, or more accurately, the rest of you. I'm actually a demigod. Enter Cosmic Godzilla. With the Silver Surfer's power cosmic energy added to his atomic might, Cosmic Godzilla is the Earth's only hope against Herald King Ghidorah. Cosmic Godzilla unleashes a point-blank blast at Herald Ghidorah, and Ghidorah is completely unfazed. Shit. The three-headed Herald of Galactus blasts Cosmic Godzilla down. It's here the Fantastic Four mobilize. Once Godzilla was their enemy, now he's their only shot at saving the planet. The Human Torch flies to Godzilla's side, announcing his intentions to help. Now, Godzilla's capacity for understanding human language has varied. Given that this is Showa Godzilla, however, arguably the smartest Godzilla variant, and he wields the power cosmic, which is boosting his abilities and senses, Cosmic Godzilla does immediately understand what the Human Torch is saying, and the two superpowered beings combine their attacks, which seems to work. With Ghidorah on the ropes, Mr. Fantastic uses his stretch powers to turn the Thing into a high-speed projectile. The Thing is slingshot right directly into one of Ghidorah's faces, but Ghidorah is turning the tide once more in his favor. Cosmic Godzilla buys his human allies time by tackling the three-headed terror into the ground. The Fantastic Four regroup. Reed Richards points out that they're making this a fight, but New York's complete destruction is imminent. Susan proposes using her powers to turn Godzilla invisible, but King Ghidorah's power cosmic would see through such a deception. It's then the team notices Ghidorah can still be distracted. Susan thinks about her experiment. To turn invisible, she uses her powers to bend light. But if you can bend light, you can do more than just make something disappear. Right as Cosmic Godzilla lifts Ghidorah up, biting one of his necks in the process, a kaiju-sized hologram of the Thing materializes. It distracts the Herald of Galactus long enough for Cosmic Godzilla to power up a god-killing energy beam. Godzilla pulls off a Herculean feat by knocking the power cosmic out of Ghidorah, freeing him from Galactus's control. In the aftermath, Reed makes a record of what happened. King Ghidorah returned to the stars, his destinations unknown. Godzilla not only returned to the ocean, he unexpectedly surrendered the power cosmic back to the Silver Surfer. Unfortunately, Reed suspects they're not in the clear. Galactus is still out there with designs of consuming the Earth. Stopping his Herald has only bought them time to prepare for the worst. But Reed begins to think that the best way to stop a monster is with a monster. It's then Reed Richards, smartest man on Earth, don't tell Dr. Doom, makes a mic drop statement. A Godzilla versus Galactus battle now seems inevitable. Whew, wow. Okay, I have a lot of things to say about this comic. Let's start with the pros. Not only does the story take place in the 1960s, it was cleverly written like a comic from the 60s. So credit to Ryan North, the writer of this story. I thought he did a great, fantastic job, no pun intended. I also liked the pacing. I thought the story, for a one-shot, really understood the assignment. And I thought it was a real page turner. The action was plentiful. I mean, Godzilla versus Fantastic Four, Godzilla versus Ghidorah, Cosmic Godzilla versus, Cosmic Godzilla in itself was a pretty cool concept. And I kind of like the design with the cosmic atomic energies just flaring off of it. It looked with the flames, the cosmic flames, I'll just call them, with the cosmic flames just burning, radiating off of them. It looked really cool. Every character had a chance to shine. Mr. Fantastic's plan on incapacitating Godzilla, the Thing distracting Ghidorah with the hologram, the Human Torch joining Godzilla in blasting Ghidorah, Invisible Woman saving everyone with her force field, Silver Surfer bestowing Godzilla with the power cosmic. Godzilla and Ghidorah stole the show in nearly every panel they appeared in. I want to real quick, I want to say, while the art might throw some people off, I liked it overall. I thought it was really cool. It's imaginative. I mean, it's the kind of art that I feel like is a great way of this sort of art to me like encapsulates comics. To me, it represents just the imaginative appeal of what these stories do for us. Also, I want to say Herald Ghidorah perched on Galactus's arm like a parrot is hilarious and something I never knew I needed until now. Okay, time to get into the cons. Ending on a cliffhanger, Godzilla versus Galactus. I mean, come on, guys. That to me, I mean, if you only end up writing just one issue and one only, give us that. But, whatever. Of course, if the story continues in the near future, this won't be a con. It will be an absolute win. Personally, I suspect we will eventually get a sequel, not only to the story, but to the other ones that I haven't quite covered yet because they're not out yet. This is called Godzilla vs. Fantastic Four Issue 1 for a reason, which, leaves room, which opens the door for more issues, more continuations somewhere down the line. No Doctor Doom, for shame. I'm a big Doctor Doom fan. I love me some Doom. And to see Doctor Doom maybe try to hijack Godzilla or Ghidorah's power would have been awesome. But anyway, also because I believe Ryan North, the director, the writer of this story, is also covering the One World Under Doom story that's currently ongoing, which is amazing. You guys should check that story out. It's incredible. I'm loving it. It definitely makes me think Doctor Doom should conquer the world for real. Okay, so now that minor nitpicks are out of the way, Herald Ghidorah's design was disappointing. Bestowing the power cosmic to mere mortals not only radically alters their appearance, it greatly augments their powers and abilities. I mean, even in I believe it was the Annihilation run from years back, a great series, it was described that the power cosmic in many ways, kind of like when combined with its wielder, it kind of explores their aura, their soul. It's like it becomes like not only an extension but an augmentation of who they are, that makes them like, yeah, who they are as a sentient being. Anyway, while the latter seems to be the case, so it definitely seemed to augment Ghidorah's powers and abilities. I mean, more on power levels in a second. Ghidorah still looked like Ghidorah, just instead of being golden, he's just silver. He's Silver Ghidorah. Woo. I mean, narratively speaking, it makes sense. After all, Norrin Radd turned into the Silver Surfer. But this was a golden opportunity to do something, to create a brand new design for one of Godzilla's most iconic villains. There are artists out there who've made their own Herald GHIDORAH illustrations, and they're just breathtaking. I have more to say on this, but I feel like it deserves to be its own video. For now, I'll just say Herald GHIDORAH is such a great concept. In order to do it justice, it would need to be, fleshed out in a mini-series or an ongoing saga. And to me, I mean, without the guarantee of there being another, like a sequel or seeing Herald GHIDORAH ever again, I feel like this is just such a big missed opportunity that you should have just gone all out on the design. I'm talking like give GHIDORAH more than 3 heads, give him like 8 heads, make him like Orochi, and then do more. I mean, we've seen comic book characters, stories like really add some cool visual aesthetics to characters that are like cosmically empowered, like Eternity. I mean, even Thanos during the Jim Starlin run, whenever he acquired some new cosmic artifact. There's just so many cool ways they could have made Herald GHIDORAH just look like, well, a living existential threat. As for power levels, because I know some of you watching, you know who you are, had your power scouters out to gauge Herald GHIDORAH's OP levels of feats. Well, I have good news and bad news. Let's start with the bad news. The bad news is we don't really see Herald GHIDORAH do anything cosmic. I mean, just about everything he does in this comic is something that we've already seen GHIDORAH do. Sure, setting the skies ablaze is cool. Really, that's awesome. But I was kind of expecting him to do something a bit more cosmic, like rearranging stars, exploding planets as a side effect, just by passing by. Maybe even doing something gravity related, like moving the Earth out of its orbit and sending it on a collision course with the sun. Something like that would have been perfect. Okay, so the good news is the Silver Surfer outright states Herald GHIDORAH is leagues above him, which is a pretty big deal. The Silver Surfer is a trustworthy source, and nothing directly contradicts anything he said. So, it stands. Okay, final nitpick. Art is open to interpretation. That's not my nitpick. But there seems to be a disconnect at times between the writer and the illustrator. Example, Godzilla is powering up a god-slaying beam and he shoots it randomly into the air while tackling GHIDORAH for some reason. What was the point of the god-slaying beam? We're calling it a god-killing beam if he doesn't actually use it to knock the power cosmic out of GHIDORAH. I don't know. Alright, nitpicks are over. Overall, I'm super pumped for Godzilla vs. the Marvel Universe. This encounter with the Fantastic Four was a real action-packed page-turner. I'd love to see writer Ryan North and artist John Romita Jr. return for another round. Seriously, give these guys a whole Godzilla vs. Fantastic Four series. I'm sold. Hey, thank you so much for visiting Kaijutopia. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your stay and try not to get eaten or stomped on by a giant monster beyond our wildest imaginations.